All right, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Newsbeat here on Metro TV. We're live from the Akuabuahima studio at North Ridge. We're also streaming live on Metro TV Ghana on Facebook. We're streaming on channel 277 DSTV. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. It's Metro TV_GH. We'll take a look at the stories, the headlines of the stories coming up. Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications engages Ministry of Communications in a crucial meeting over possible extension deadline for SIM registration. We'll bring you details of this story. Majority in Parliament fights back claims by a minority over the alleged inflation of a twin-tower office complex for the bulk oil transportation company. And news from elsewhere, UN base has been petrol bombed in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Welcome back. In the first story, the minority in Parliament has called for a bipartisan investigation into an alleged inflation of the cost of a twin-tower office complex for the bulk oil transportation company. Now, the construction of the office complex, which started in 2015 under the former CEO Iwadakun at the cost of $39 million, is said to have been inflated to $78 million without due recourse to PPA approval.
Emanating yet again from Ghana's energy sector under the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia-led government. You would recall that the energy sector has been noted for a series of scandals. We were of the hope that, having experienced the embarrassing PDS scandal, the embarrassing Ameri scandal, the embarrassing BOST moving peanut scandal, the embarrassing scandal at Tor, amongst others, this government will learn some lessons and put a stop to the corruption that has characterized this administration. To our surprise, the plethora of corruption and scandals has not stopped. And as we speak, we are faced again with another scandal of monumental proportion. You would recall that the bulk oil and storage company under Mr. Kwame Iwadakun commenced the process of constructing a twin-tower, state-of-the-art, multi-complex story building in 2015. Indeed, all the preparations had been concluded and the contractor, Rolida, was about commencing. However, following the 2016 elections, the new administration, constituted by the Akufo-Addo government, labeled a plethora of allegations against Mr. Iwa and his team. This culminated in Iyoko inviting Mr. Iwadakun and members of his team, subjected them to very thorough investigations. After so many months of investigations by Iyoko, the report, which we have a copy here and we'll share with you, not only exonerated them, the report confirmed that indeed that project met all the ingredients of value for money and that the project was indeed viable and ought to continue. One would have thought that, having concluded that, BOST would continue with that project based on the initial amount of $39 million.
Well, meanwhile, the majority in Parliament is fighting back claims made by the minority side on the Mines and Energy Committee of an alleged inflation of a twin-tower office complex for the bulk oil transportation company. A member on the Mines and Energy Committee, Paul Chumberima, says the claims are false.
So yes, in May 2022, by a letter from PPA with reference number PPA/CEO 1079/05/2020, following the request that BOST sent to them that we've gone through all the processes, so we want to rectify and verify whatever we've done. PPA came back and said, okay, we've agreed it to 23 and you've approved it. And that was done in 31st May 2022. So BOST agreed on 23,500,000, whatever, 23 million, let me put it that way. As a single project, how can this tend to be a 78 million twin tower? Where is this coming from? Indeed, if you multiply these two, even if you multiply these two, would it give you 78 million? If you multiply these two, because this is the approved that you say, okay, listen, we've approved this one, and this is what we are going to do. So if you go BOST, if you check, and ladies and gentlemen, BOST is just here. You just go there, you can verify. So to quote that, let me quote him saying that, however, we noted that recent development based on development, the balloon to a whooping 78 million. Do we have, my brother is an astute accountant and a serious one. So for him to come, to just compute 23, do we get 78 million? That is unacceptable. And clearly, you could see how they are trying their best to throw dust into the eyes of the people. This is what has transpired over the years. I mean, if you look at the ratification that they did, which has been approved in 2015 and all that, it clearly shows that they follow the processes. Indeed, Mr. Ewa rather ignored the laws, blatantly caused problem for PPA, for BOST to come and rectify it. And knowing their financial situation, they said, we can't do twin. We'll do a single. And the single will cost us $23.5 million. And that is what PPA has approved. Which document is my brother John Jinapo speaking to? That is $78 million. This morning, I mean, we've seen tracking, and they were saying, what? They are saying they will continue to be vigilant. Were you vigilant in 2015 when we lost 475 million at BOST? Were they vigilant? Clearly, ladies and gentlemen, whatever honorable ranking member, the member of parliament and a senior member, of course, said this morning is totally unacceptable and it's palpable false. You can verify, and I've given you reference to every document that I've stated here, that BOST is undertaking a single block project which costs $23.5 million. And then maybe I have a calculator here. Somebody can put in 23 times 2. If it gives us 78, I don't know if we are arithmetically too, we are having challenges in there.
Now let's do some more stories. And President Akufo-Addo has sacked Sarah Adwoa-Safo as the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection with immediate effect. This was contained in a press statement issued by Presidency on Thursday, July 28, 2022, under the signature of the Communications Director, Eugene Ahin. According to the statement, President Akufo-Addo did so under Article 81, Clause A of the 1992 Constitution. Now, we've been joined via Zoom by Jonathan Asante Ochre, a political analyst and a lecturer, for more on this. Jonathan, thank you for joining us. You're welcome to Newsbeat. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nani.
Right. So, is it not surprising that Adwoa-Safo has been off for some months now? I mean, for quite a long period, which gave the presidency some good time to decide on who can take care of this ministry in terms of a permanent minister. Should we get to this stage, which indeed we have gotten here already?
Let me say good afternoon once again to our viewers. I think that this particular issue, for some months now, the president has finally exercised his authority using the article that you rightly cited. If you look at the situation, we need to look at it from not passionate, but in a manner. When it comes to that particular portfolio, I think that it was doing more damage to the nation than good. I think the president gave her the benefit of the doubt, as it were, because the president is more aware of her situation. And for some of us, being a woman, we need to exercise restraint when we are commenting, as it were, because we know how our women are. And as part of our value system, we really cherish mothers, and for that matter, yourself as well. It is a prudent decision on the part of the president, but the president himself, I'm not too sure, demonstrated that kind of leadership, as it were. It's taking a little too long, and at least that decision should have come a little earlier. That apart, I'm equally disappointed. Maybe I want to hope that in a not too distant future, the president will appoint a substantive minister, or rather want to merge the two ministries. Besides, the person that you've asked there to, as it were, be a caretaker minister, what can we say about her ministry in terms of sanitation in the country? And so I think that this is all much ado about nothing. I hope that the president will give us chief minister, as early as possible.
I don't know. I mean, it's almost like a draggy situation, both at the executive and the legislature. On both sides, what do you think is, controlling the decision in terms of what to do about Adjua-Safo, the state of Adjua-Safo? Because you realize that even in Parliament, it was difficult for the Speaker to just draw a sudden ruling after the debate and said that he was going to do that in October.
Yeah, I think that with respect to legislature, the Speaker acted in a very timely manner. The decision that he took is very good. I think the Speaker has demonstrated that he is above partisanship. You just cannot take a decision. A natural justice or law demands that its accused must be heard. So in whichever form or nature, the woman has to be heard. And it is quite strange.
After several attempts of giving her opportunity to be heard, and she has actually not made use of them, how is she going to hold the nation to ransom this way?
Well, if it is a matter of she representing her people or her constituents, we also have another MP who is battling issues in court, for which reason is not representing his people. So in as much as Asen North or South do not have a representative partaking in parliamentary activities, and for which he is still drawing salary, as it were, Adjua-Safo's case cannot be an exclusion. And the people of Kwabenya, I mean, the constituent over there are not superior to the constituent in a sense of South. That apart, yes, it is true that several attempts have been made. But don't forget that when it suited the majority, she came down for e-levy, she came down for the budget as well. So how is it that this time around you are suggesting to everybody that you cannot reach her? Yes, she might have abused the system one way or the other, but she still deserves to be heard. And if the Speaker decides in a long run that, well, based upon ABC and D, she cannot hold herself still as MP, then that is another hurdle that we must cross. Because it comes, if you want us to look into that, we can look into that with different permutations. And I don't think that if she leaves Parliament in whichever form or nature, it will not inure to the benefit of the MPP. It will rather bring catastrophe for the party in government.
For the MPP or for the NDC, you say?
for the MPP, because if she decides to contest as independent, and the MPP also comes up with a candidate like Michael Quay, then the NDC candidate stands a better chance of winning the election. Because if you look at the previous election, you know, what's it called?
The
total wasn't that, the difference, yes, wasn't that much. And if she decides not to contest, then there are still people who are pathetic and who are sympathetic towards her plight, and they wouldn't want to vote for the MPP, they would rather want to vote for the NDC. That means that should a sin north or south situation be resolved, and even the man judge, he decides to resign, and a by-election to be conducted, and he qualifies to contest, he will win. That means that you are creating a majority that will become minority, and they will have the executive, but they will become minority in parliament. So they have to be very careful the way they treat Adwoa-Safo's issue. People must not be too emotional about this. Yes, in any case, if we are using the Privileges Committee, then Kennedy Japan also infringed. Yes, he's been heard. The regional minister of Greater Accra also has been heard, but he equally infringed the regulation. And for that reason, they are all guilty, but they have been heard. You see, those who are the caucus, what the MPP caucus is doing is quite strange. They should by now know that the psychological situation of the woman, you know, is not up to a certain scratch. So you don't aggravate it, as it were, by, you know, trying to kick her out of parliament. And finally, there is another problem. If she is able to succeed in not being kicked out, now, how would the caucus be able to do things with her? She cannot say she's going to caucus for the NDC. That will cause for a by-election. But of course, when it comes to secret voting and other policy decisions, don't think that she's going to align herself to the policy.
Right. Right. Jonathan Asante Ochre, a political analyst, thank you for speaking to us here on Metro News. We'll end it here and do some other stories. Now, Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Murtala Mohammed, says the minority is not defending Adwoa-Safo, but upholding the principle of natural justice, which requires that she is granted a fair hearing before judgment. Her seat is declared vacant as proposed by the majority.
The NDC is one of the members, if you like, or a caucus in parliament that plays a legislative role. One of the most important responsibilities of the legislature is to hold the executive accountable. And it is not only limited to financial accountability, to administrative accountability, to moral accountability. So it is not just about Adwoa-Safo. That if there is anybody who is going to be dealt with, and we think that dealing with such a person is clearly violating the rights of the person, the freedom of the person, we would have to speak to it. So assuming tomorrow it is an NDC person, we say because it happened to Adwoa-Safo, we were quiet and therefore we may not have the moral right to talk about that. So we are not defending Adwoa-Safo. We are saying the right things ought to be done. The decision by the chairman of the Privileges Committee to say that they declared the seat vacant was wrong. The committee doesn't have the authority to declare any seat vacant. What we're simply saying is that let's do the right things. Adwoa-Safo must be listened to. If you read Article 91, 7C, it is not saying that Parliament should, the committee has the right to just declare the seat vacant. That the Privileges Committee is only to determine, listen, it's only to determine the reasonableness of an explanation given by Adwoa-Safo. Why is it that the other two members of Parliament, when it was established that they also absented themselves from Parliament for more than 15 days, why is it that the committee didn't just declare their seats vacant? The committee gave them the opportunity to explain why they absented themselves for more than 15 days. A committee is just a subset of the whole Parliament. And the committee's mandate was given to it by Parliament through the Speaker. So they could not indeed abrogate to themselves the authority to determine whether that seat be declared vacant or not. And that is the point I'm making.
The Honourable Member Murtala Mohammed was speaking on Good Evening Ghana. You're still watching Newsbeat here on Metro TV, and we're coming to you live from the Akua Boahima studio. We'll take a breather. We'll be back shortly with some more. You're welcome back to Newsbeat here on Metro TV. Now let's do some more stories. Go back to Parliament, and minority MPs on Parliament's Communications Committee have called on the Ministry of Communications to extend the deadline for SIM card registration. According to them, the majority of citizens are yet to obtain their Ghana card, which is the sole requirement for registration.
Indeed, this side of the house, this group, we've had the opportunity of doing a number of rounds. And even today and yesterday, if you went to the Accra Sports Stadium, you went to the Elwak Stadium, you went to the headquarters of the NIA, there are tens of thousands of Ghanaians lined up there for no other reason but the fact that they don't have a Ghana card which will permit them to regularize their SIM card and engage in other operations that are on the verge of being sanctioned as law. So we all know that accessibility to the Ghana card today is not available to millions of Ghanaians, tens of millions of Ghanaians, through no fault of theirs. Indeed, just about 2 weeks ago, the NIA was in this house to brief the house, and they themselves considered that not only do they not have offices across all the districts of this country, but that they are even handicapped in terms of even bare logistics.
Let me state emphatically and without any iota of doubt that as a caucus, the minority caucus, we are not against any policy initiative that seeks to provide a clean, credible, reliable database of persons who hold SIM cards in our country and use same for transacting private or public business. However, we are against any attempt to illegally carry out what should be a legal mandate. We have maintained that the Parliament of Ghana has passed only one legislation for the registration of SIM cards. That legislation is LI 2006, which is known as the Subscriber Identity Model Registration Regulations. It remains a wonder and worry why the minister will want to abandon LI 2006, which is specific to SIM registration, and rely on another legislative instrument, LI 2111. A Ghanaian driver's license, a passport, a voter's ID card, or a national ID card, which we call the Ghana card, are legal and acceptable identification documents passed into law by the Parliament of Ghana. We are asking why the Minister for Communications and Digitalizations, through the NCA, is avoiding the use of the other three documents and insisting that we must use only the Ghana card. Ghana is governed by laws, and the respect for our laws and the respect for Parliament, which the Minister is a member of, is sacrosanct. Ghana's international standing as a beacon of digital growth and development is threatened by this policy incoherence between government agencies. The NIA, a state agency under the Ministry of Interior, is the sole body for the issuance of Ghana cards and has proven to be unable to meet the demands of Ghanaians who have made a request for the Ghana card. The NIA's operations are fraught with a lot of systemic challenges. We have grouped 5 of these challenges that the NIA faces. The first is persons whose cards have been missing and have gone to the NIA for replacement and are unable to get replacement cards. The second group is persons who registered since 2018 and whose cards have been printed but are in different locations. The third group of persons are persons who registered but have errors on their cards. These errors are either a wrong picture or a misspelled name, and the NIA is unable to correct those cards. The fourth group of persons are persons who have married or have had change of names, and those do not match with their Ghana cards that were issued and want new Ghana cards issued. And the last group of persons are persons attempting to deal with all the issues above and have gone to re-register, but the system has flagged them as double registration. All of these individuals are unable to access Ghana cards. Some of these persons have traveled the length and breadth of our country in the past 6 months and trying to get rectification of these challenges to no avail. If one state agency has failed, Why would another state agency blame and punish the citizens of our republic for the failure of another state agency?
Now, we have been joined via Zoom by Akwesiato, who is our Central Regional Correspondent, for more on the SIM registration. Thanks for joining us, Akwesi. So tell us, what exactly is the situation in the Central Region as far as the SIM registration is concerned? Hello, Akwesi.
Okay, so Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, Annie.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So it appears to be that many Ghanaians risk losing their SIM card should the Communications Ministry go ahead to disconnect persons who have not yet registered their SIM card with their Ghana cards, because as you know, it's become more of a challenge having many persons getting their Ghana cards to go to link to their SIM cards and then re-register their SIM card. Now, Annie, there is this issue with persons who have registered with the NIA but have not been able to have their cards yet. You know, the NIA, which is supposed to be keeping custody of persons who have registered, is saying that some of the ID cards have been printed but are missing and cannot be found by the NIA. So what the NIA does is that you visit their office and then they will tell you that, yes, indeed, you've had your card printed, but it is missing. And so you would have to reissue your card to you. And to be able to go, the officials of NIA would have to file a request to reissue your card for you. And that request normally takes about a month or two to be able to do that. There are plenty of persons in the region who are having that peculiar situation. Yes, they've registered, their cards have been printed, but the NIA said that their cards are missing, and so they would have to wait for about a month or two to be able to have another card printed out for them.
So, Akwesi, tell me, there are some members I personally have interacted with, and they have said that, you know, after registration process and everything, they're told that they will have to come for their cards after 5 good months. And you are saying 2 months in the Central Region. Is that a clarity?
That is a peculiar situation. For persons who have registered their Ghana card, they've registered, yes, their cards have been printed by the NIA, and then those cards are missing at the NIA's office.
Oh, wow. Wow. And how has the NIA responded to those ones that are missing?
The only response they've given is that they are trying to file a request to have printed, and then for onward distribution to press. And now, question to bear as to why documents that are supposed to be national security documents can't go missing at the premises of the very authority which is in charge of the registration for Ghanaians.
How long does the registration process last per person in the Central Region, if you can tell me?
In the Central Region, it would take you about a month to be able to get registered, especially where we and the other townships where we have a very huge population. For example, in Kaswa here, people would have to queue for several weeks before it gets to their turn at the registration center, the GRA office. And then after when they are registered, you have to also wait for a while unless for your card to be ready. So imagine going through all this stress, and then you have your card printed out, and then the card is not issued out to you, and then the NIA says that yes, it's because your card is missing at their office. So it's quite a very difficult situation for persons who are seeking to have their SIM card registered with their.
And I'm sure you might not have the accurate data, but by your estimation, how many persons in the Central Region do you think have been able to register or are showing interest of owning a Ghana card? You think people are enthusiastic about it?
From the onset, people were very enthusiastic, but what got many people to decide to register for the fact that the communications manager Ghana has got the same card to connected. At that time, we got so many people belonging to the various centers of the NIA to be able to have their Ghana card. And I tell you, and you speak to people, they tell you that they are going through so much stress to be able to have their Ghana card. And even if you visit the office of the various telecommunication networks, you get so many people marching up day in, day out, trying to register their SIM cards. That is those who have their Ghana cards readily available.
Right, Akwesiado, thank you for your time. Metro TV's correspondent Akwesiado coming through from the Central Region. Now, the Ghana card registration process is fraught with several challenges as applicants at the Elwak Stadium race against time to get their cards registered. Now, they're also calling for an extension of the deadline.
We come, the system is okay. The workers said that in a day they can only give the card out to only 60 people. So in any time we do come, we come in our normal, it's almost like more than 100 people. So that's what I'll be repeating up to date, that most of us could not access our card.
You join the queue for so long, and then when you go, by the time you get to your 10, it is almost the evening, and they'll tell you to go and come back the following day. Now when you come back the following, maybe if you come back the following day, you might have to come as early as 4. Even by 4, you come and meet almost 50 people there. Those 50 people can be served, so you have to go. So it has been going and coming, and that is what has kept me long.
People has borrowed money with the SIMs. So if MTN, Airtel Tigo, and Vodafone and the rest, they want to be cheats, it's up to them. Because though I have not borrowed money, but a lot of people has borrowed money with the chip. So if you want to lose that money, someone.
We are pleading Ministry of Communication, NCA, and Ministry for Information, that they should please extend the SIM registration for us. At least if they can extend it to the end of this year, let's say somewhere in December. I think majority of us would have been able, by that time, would have been able to finish with the registration of the SIM. So we are pleading NCA and the Ministry of Communication and Ministry of Information that they should please listen to we the citizens and please extend the deadline for us.
Now, some prospective applicants of the Ghana card in the Ashanti region, that's the capital, Kumasi, have accused some officials of NIA of demanding up to 400 Ghana cedis for the issuance of the Ghana card within 24 hours. They have also accused the registration officials of the giving preference to certain people to the detriment of others, as hundreds of applicants have taken over the premises of NIA office at the Edum in Kumasi in their quest to acquire the Ghana National Identification Card, mostly for re-registration of SIM cards, barely 2 days to 31st deadline.
One say card, a card, need to be seen. What's the meaning of that? Huh? And I mean, my betcha bansika. What's the best uncle me do, baby? Near mamma, what's the meaning of this thing? And I'm going to say, huh? But baby Cheska, me tell me ba. And the mobile office now catch me say, be me card you will find my money to me so that I can leave this place. If there is not going to be at the trouble, baby, you go police station. Say me buy it now. Let me buy no catch me say, put me your mind. You will find me my money. I guess I buy blood.
Oh buy back to be 30 series. And we be line on days, we be like it is to 30 series. We no over banner. Almost so much or much they didn't be didn't answer now, baby. Obi so me can't say dinner watch a year my number. And I said, yes, I'm my number won't be right inside. Number no so be my numbers. And we be better have my dear channel. Omunya numbers are matching. And there's a good even go body on open I said to you. They say I actually the way you actually will be answer my can't say a number never go inside.
Some very frustrated Ghanaians are on the registration of their SIM cards using the Ghana card. Now, some members of the National Democratic Congress in the Sisala East constituency of the Upper West region are demanding the immediate suspension of the party's constituency chairman. According to the group, the constituency chairman was allegedly heard in a leaked telephone conversation planning to rig the upcoming constituency elections by manipulating the branch executive elections.
Speaking at a press conference in Tumu, the spokesperson for the group, Abdullahi Kwanda Ibrahim, said the petition is based on an intercepted audio recording between the incumbent constituency chairman and the branch secretary in the constituency, while the chairman was requesting for a list of individuals who he has control over to be added into the party's album. The actions, the group claimed, breached some aspects of the party's constitution.
This petition is on the basis of our interception of an audio recording of a telephone conversation on or about 14th June 2022 between Mr. Rafik Baku, the NDC constituency chairman of the Sisala East constituency, and a branch secretary, name withheld for now, of one of the branches in the constituency. In this intercepted telephone conversation, Mr. Rafik Baku is heard requesting the branch secretary for a list of compromised individuals, people they can control, to be submitted to him urgently. Mr. Baku in the audio is heard saying that he, chairman, knows how he is going.
And you're watching News BT on Metro TV from Ikea Bohima Studio. It's time for us to take a breather again. We'll be back shortly with some more stories. Welcome back. Let's now do business. Now, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, says it is expecting further fuel price reductions at the pumps from August 1, 2022, following the reduction in price of petrol and diesel on the world market.
National Petroleum Authority has assured that its outfit will be monitoring the pumps to see if fuel stations are complying with the pricing formula in changing the fuel prices. The fuel price changes are influenced by changes of the price on the world market and the exchange rate in particular. There have been some reductions at the pumps in the past 1 month, purely because the World Bank prices have dropped. In the next window in which we are going into, it has been observed that the price of petrol and diesel have gone down again, and therefore it expects some price reductions at the pumps in the next window, which starts from the 1st of August. This is according to NPA. Already, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana has hinted of a 6% drop in prices at the pumps in the coming days. Currently, diesel is almost 15 Ghana cedis per litre, while petrol sells for over 11 Ghana cedis per litre at the pumps. Some filling stations over the weekend recorded some marginal price drops.
Now, joining me via Zoom with a spokesperson for the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, Abbas Moro Ibrahim, to tell us more. They are the ones who are normally hit maybe the hardest during some increase in fuel prices. Abbas, thank you for your time. You're welcome to Newsbeat. Good afternoon. Hello, Abbas.
Hello.
Right. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Newsbeat. Right. Have you heard?
Call you back. I'm at a very noisy place.
Right. Right. Okay. So I think Abbas is a bit inconvenienced, and so we cannot really speak with him at the moment. But maybe we'll do that later in the subsequent bulletins. Let's take a breather. We'll be back with some more. Welcome back to Newsbeat. It's now time for sports with Phil John Corte.
My name is Phil John Quarty, and it's time for sports. The local blasters, popularly known as the Black Galaxy, are on their way to the Benin capital, Cotonou, for the return leg for the CHAN qualifier. Arnold Walker, he's quite positive that they'll get the results in Cotonou.
Game last Sunday, straight ahead, we started preparing towards the return game, which is tomorrow. In fact, we trained throughout the week up to yesterday in the morning till we left to Accra here. And today we are moving to Benin. We've prepared well, and I believe we are going to win also there and make ourselves and the nation proud. It's going to be a tough game because we've beaten them 3-0 here, and going to their home, definitely they will give us a strong opposition. But we know, or I believe, the preparation that we've had will definitely qualify us to the next stage. I'm promising Ghanaians that we are well prepared, and I believe we will win the cup this time for Ghana. And we need their prayers, we need their support for us to win and qualify and win the cup for Ghana, Mother Ghana.
Let's go to the United Kingdom, where 72 countries under the Commonwealth are participating in the 22nd edition of the Global Games. Prince Charles opened the games on behalf of her mother, Queen Elizabeth, yesterday.
On October the 7th last year, this specially created baton left Buckingham Palace to travel across the Commonwealth. Over the past 294 days, it has carried not only my message to you, but also the shared hopes and dreams of each nation and territory through which it has passed, as it made its way to Birmingham. Over the years, the coming together of so many for the friendly games has created memorable shared experiences, established long-standing relationships, and even created some friendly rivalries. But above all, they remind us of our connection with one another and unity of the Commonwealth, and one which now welcomes you all in friendship. My warmest thanks go to all those who have worked so hard to ensure the success of this particularly special sporting event. And I wish each athlete and team every success.
Those were scenes of the Ghanaian contingents at the opening ceremony of the 22nd edition of the Commonwealth Games that started yesterday in Birmingham. That's your sports. Up next, Showbiz.
It's now time for entertainment. My name is Desmond Okrekud. As we begin from the gospel music industry, well, renowned Ghanaian gospel musician Joe Mettle has today released his new album titled The Kadosh. This is a follow-up to his 2019 album, The Experience. The Bononi Hitmakers' seventh studio album came out, and after he released his first album in 2011, the 11-track album features Ghanaian gospel singer and 2022 VGMA female vocal performer of the year, Niela, and also Nigerian gospel singer, Aben. The one-time artist of the year at the VGMA is noted for great gospel songs including Yo Boami, Owanweni, God of Miracles, My Everything, and many others. Now let's move on to rather an interesting one. We usually would be seeing this kind of rap feud between young rappers, but this time the mothers are at it. Ghana's Big Ivy and Nigeria's Mama DOLLARZ have been touting their prowess as to who is the best rap mommy in Africa.
She awed Ghanaians and even outsiders with the rap prowess after the release of her first song,
Big Mama, known as Big Ivy, she got the attention of everyone with her delivery and her rap style, including notable blogs abroad.
So yeah, Carabonia, whip, me let me try my big tip. Pour me someone make a sip, I come system. Yeah, not your average mommy. I got big thoughts in my lobby, and I do this not for money. It's a hobby and I love it. Not your average mommy. I got big thoughts in my lobby, and I do this not for money. It's a hobby and I love it.
She got a reply from nowhere else but Ghana's arch rivals Nigeria from Mama Dollars. A few days ago, Mama Dollars made the reply song to Big Ivy, which set social media ablaze as the comparisons between the two have begun.
Mommy Dollars!
So I'm hearing some rappers making noise. The real queen of rap is here. Bow down and pay your respect. Mommy Dollars is the queen. Tell all these rappers to stop making noise. My flow they make headlines. Tell this baba to stop making noise. I'm the best in the game. Who want battle me? Go boss it. One fat woman for Ghana. Which flow they in match? Go boss it.
Big Ivy has since responded to Mama Dollars with another fierce flow.
Big Ivy. I'm not surprised though. I knew someone would come test. I was expecting Emma Baga. Why you bringing Mama Dollars? Okay, I'm your forest hero. Turning you back to Naira. This battle you come call, I go make you vanish like you become fat.
The rivalry between them brings to bear once again the rivalry between the two countries, Ghana and Nigeria. This time not jollof or football, but music. Together, Mommy Rap Champion and legendary Nigerian rapper Emma Baga has waded in. Let's see how it goes.
Very interesting one though. We'll see how that goes. That's it for entertainment. Up next is international news.
All right, thank you, Dasi, for the interesting entertainment stories there. Let's now take the international updates.
BENIN, east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, amid worsening protests against the UN. At least 2 other peacekeeping bases were also targeted on Thursday. At least 19 people, including 3 UN peacekeepers, have died in the violent clashes following anti-UN protests that started on Monday. Demonstrators have been accusing the UN of not protecting civilians against armed groups operating in the east. Protests against Guinea's military government and its handling of plans to return to democracy have brought the capital to a standstill, with organizers saying 1 person was killed. New York and San Francisco have issued monkeypox alerts as cases continue to rise, and the United States faces a shortage of vaccines. Health Commissioner Mary Bassett said the declaration would help health departments engaged in response and prevention activities to access additional state reimbursements. The regional governor of Mykolaiv, Vitaly Kim, said the Russian raids on the heavily bombed Ukraine city of Mykolaiv, near the country's southern front line, killed 4 people and wounded 7 more. According to him, they shot at an area near a public transport stop.
And that's all time will allow us here on News Speed. You came to live from the Akua Bohema studio at North Ridge. We're back at 2 with Good Afternoon Ghana, 4 with News Flash at 7 with News 9 line, and at 10 with Newsline. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.